I'm about to say something completely crazy. Playing video games is a better choice these days than working, chasing girls, any of the quote-unquote traditionally masculine stuff men used to do. I've read all the headlines. 7 million men not working. Young men these days would rather play video games than work or chase women. Young men are opting out of society at record numbers. And you know what? I don't think you're wrong at all. In fact, I think this is a perfectly logical and rational adaptation to what the modern world has become now. A poll that came out recently has been going viral all over the internet. They asked women what they find to be the least attractive hobby for men, and video games unsurprisingly took the top spot. What's hilariously stupid is that it actually scored 20 points worse than gambling. Someone's got to explain that to me because that literally makes zero sense. As this comment put it perfectly, gambling is okay so long as he doesn't play video games. Now, if millennials or any other generation of men saw that poll, they would instantly and immediately react like the blue-pilled simps they are. Oh my God, girls don't like video games. I better smash my PS4 and dedicate my whole life to shamelessly chasing women. I actually saw so many real-life examples of guys doing that, and it was really sad to say the least. Unfortunately, though, they messed with the wrong generation, and you Gen Z Chads in typical Chad fashion absolutely eviscerated them in the comments.
I don't know why you play video games. They're a waste of time.
Goes and sits on a couch and binge watches an entire series on Netflix. A fitting place for the quote, "Your boos mean nothing, I've seen what makes you cheer." Let them hate you while they are doom-scrolling Instagram. The best is when sports fanatics try to talk down about video games gamers. Like, dude, you act like you not only play on the football team, but that you've just lost or gained $1 million each game. As such, after each win, they go around almost acting as though they contributed. Or upon loss, mope around treating everyone like crap. These are all fantastic and hilarious points, but perhaps the most Chad comment of them all was this. You know what women would find even more unattractive? A man that's willing to give up something he enjoys to please others. Be unapologetic about what you enjoy, and don't let people dictate what you should and shouldn't be doing with your free time. Anyone who gets hung up on such things isn't worth having in your life to begin with. I literally couldn't have put it any better myself. This is also exactly what was so sad about watching guys quit their own passions like video games just to go around chasing girls. They don't end up getting the girl anyways. In fact, she ends up being even more repulsed by them. Believe it or not, though, that's actually not even the worst thing that could happen. In fact, a lot of times, the only thing that's worse than not getting the girl is actually getting the girl. When made the choice to leave America and escape the rat race, I spent 7 years traveling and volunteering to get by. Then, when the pandemic hit, some of my investments finally took off and gave me the opportunity to settle down in one location, which I desperately needed. I got myself a PS4 and would subsequently spend a lot of money on games, as I had 7 years of new games to catch up on. I've always been a pretty frugal guy, so I wasn't too proud of the fact that I checked my PS4 purchase history one day and saw that I had spent over $500 on games over the course of a year. Around the same time, one of my friends from America met a girl who happened to be from the new country I was living in. We made plans to meet and catch up, and I told him about how I blew $500 on video games in a year. Now, this guy's actually a financial advisor in real life, and he subsequently told me this was actually a great financial decision. Those games are one-time purchases that I can play forever. He told me that he had spent well over $500 on just plane tickets alone to meet this girl, and he would end up having to spend well over $1,000 when you include hotels, dates, and more. And this was just to see her for one single week before he had to go back to America. When he put it in that perspective, it actually made me realize gaming is in fact a great hobby for your finances. I've seen guys spend $500 or more on a single night out at a club, trying to buy expensive bottles and tables to impress girls. And 99% of the time, they didn't even get the girl in the end anyways. So far, we've only talked about short-term consequences of chasing girls. But when you zoom out and look at it from a long-term perspective, it gets even more depressing. How many stories have we all seen by now of men getting absolutely wrecked in divorce and losing thousands and even millions in some instances? Now, if there's any girls watching this video, I want to extend an olive branch. Believe it or not, I'm actually a huge supporter of feminism, equality, and equal rights. I fully support your right to have a job, to be allowed to vote, to make your own money and be a strong, independent woman. But when you got your right to get a job, you lost your right to tell me to stop playing video games and get a job myself. If you're a strong and independent woman who doesn't need a man, but then you want a man to stop playing video games so he can go out, get a job, and make money, doesn't that mean you do need a man's money? And you're not so strong and independent after all? If I can't tell you to go in the kitchen and make me a sandwich, you can't tell me to stop playing video games and get a real job. Fair is fair. I just want to be free of archaic, 1950s gender roles just like you. You don't want to be limited to cleaning and cooking and being a mom? Fine. I don't want to be limited to being a breadwinner and a walking ATM machine, especially not in this garbage economy where jobs all pay dog shit anyways. To conclude this video on a more positive note, I want to be fair in regards to one thing. A lot of comments in response to this poll points out that this is more of a generational thing when it comes to judgmental women. Apparently, younger women are a lot less condescending about video games, and a fair amount of them even play video games themselves. If this is really the case, I'd respect it a lot more, as at least they're making an effort to be more inclusive and tolerant in all regards, and not only when it favors them. But whether women accept it or not is irrelevant at the end of the day. We certainly don't approve of everything modern women do these days, but that doesn't stop them from exercising their adult right to do what they want with their lives. So, in the exact same way, who cares if they don't approve of what we enjoy doing, whether that's video games or anything else? As this comment put it brilliantly, truth is, yes, we are all wasting our lives playing video games. But are you truly wasting your life if you're enjoying the time wasted?